Good evening from San Ignacio Town. With the 9 o'clock news, I am Patrick Jones. In the headlines, pageant organizers speak on concerns raised by Senorita Flor de la Feria contestants. Police say alleged drug runners tried to bribe officers, and Taiwan gives $5 million to the government of Belize. Stay tuned for details of these and other stories coming up after these messages.
Would you like to know more about the flora and fauna of Belize? Do you enjoy gardening and need some tips? Then tune in to The Garden Show with Belize Botanic Gardens every Saturday morning at 10 o'clock, only on the National Channel.
Wondering what it feels like to be in the clouds? Then let's go on an exciting tour and experience a great new adventure. TNH Tours Belize offers a variety of horseback riding combined with caving, canoeing, and personalized tours. Enjoy pristine jungle canopies, caves, and magnificent views. Tour safely with our licensed tour guides and professional horsemen. For a memorable tour in the heart of Belize's natural heritage, come to TNH Tours. For more information, contact us at tnhtoursbelize.com or call 667-8884 or 600-1293. Thanks for choosing TNH Tours Belize.
Here now is the news in details. The 50th edition of the Senorita Flor de la Feria is going down in the history books as one of the more controversial pageants in the last decade. The problem stems from a glitch in the system that resulted in two of the pageant finalists being wrongly placed. The error was noted after the pageant in the wee hours of last Friday morning, and organizers of the event have moved to correct the mistake. But three of the contestants, including the first runner-up whose placement was affected, have gone public with a litany of complaints, and they are pointing the accusatory finger squarely at the pageant organizers and coordinator of the Senorita Flor de la Feria, Oscar Nabet. Today, TNC News sat down for a conversation with Nabet after the three aggrieved contestants went on the 9 o'clock news last night to voice their concerns.
The thing is that on the Flor de la Feria pageant, we had 12 judges in total, 2 per category. So 2 judges grade solely modeling, 2 grade facial expression, vocal expression, information, content, design and creativity, and improvisation. The night of the pageant, we only had 10 judges attending. So I informed the tabulators that for the judges that weren't there to add full 10 marks to all the candidates, so that their final score wouldn't be so low. Then we had the glitch in the system on the final segment of the competition. I have a copy here on the final look. The tabulator mistakenly put what was a 10 to Miss El Pilar instead of Miss Caracol, who was on top of her. So automatically it brought down Miss Caracol to 3rd place and Miss Edna to 2nd place, right? So after the pageant, well, automatically I give the results as what the tabulator is given to me. So we gave the results as how they were given. being that Rianne won first, and then Edna second, Joanna third, and Jessica fourth. After the pageant, we sort of had a scenario backstage and everything. So I usually don't speak to the candidates who are frustrated at that moment because probably I might say something that they don't like. So I try to avoid that and then probably talk to them when they're calm and everything. So around 3:30 in the morning, Miss Joanna stepped into the cancha with a whole group of entourage requesting to see the score sheets. And because we have nothing to hide, I gave her. They took pictures of everything, including the final result sheets. And then she told me that she wanted me answers from me and requesting me to give her all the details and everything. I told her I can't give you anything because I haven't even reviewed the sheets. And then when I was home, I informed her. And then that's when I reviewed the system and I found the glitch with the 10. So I told her that I was home and she could come over. She did. And then that's when she reached home and I explained, okay, you were right, there is a glitch in the system. You are officially our second place winner. And that would be this one here. Automatically giving her the 10 brings her up to second place position. So I told her, you know what, it falls under the organization mistake. We'll have to inform the public, but just give me time to speak to Edna, who was given the first runner up, because I don't think it's fair to post something without informing her. And then I thought she would have it understood by then. I gave her National Costume Award there because BPMS took it until that Friday morning. And then I told her, I apologized to her there, and I told her we'll fix this, and then we'll see how we can work it out so that people can understand where the glitch was.
The aggrieved contestants also complained on Wednesday about the technical glitches on the night of the pageant, the omission of a segment, and what they said were changes in the question and answer segment. Nabet responded to those concerns.
When you're organizing a pageant, you have a plan. I believe we planned since January, and due to a circumstance or another, we had to cancel this, we had to cancel that. Now you're on a final show, and as director, you have to make the choices that will better the system of the show at that exact moment. Being that, first of all, the pageant started late. We have so much hours spending, we have so much else to do. And so for the swimwear, we had planned that we would call in the top 3 highest scores, and then the 4th one would have been saved by text messages. And so I was like, okay. So before the swimmer, I was like, how will I post the numbers where the people will text to which candidate on screen if I don't even have a computer to type it in then? So I went to the Master of Ceremonies and I told him, you know what, we're just going to call in the top 4 and that will be the final to cut. And so that's what we did. It wasn't planned or seen that it would benefit one or the other because Rianne was 4th at that time, so I'm not sure if they're arguing that because she was the 4th one, another one couldn't have the chance, because even one of the committee members who had a cousin in the pageant organization and we allowed him to stay in the pageant, he was like, I was angry because my cousin and family had so many taxes to spend, and I'm like, but I can't think of only your cousin or any other candidate. I have to think generally of all candidates and what would benefit the show at that moment. Now for the question and answer segment, what we did was that we only had 1 copy of the questions. It wasn't specified to the candidates that the judges would be the one bringing in their questions. Why? Because I wouldn't want one judge to ask them a harder or tougher question than another one, and then it would be like, oh, but he asked me this and he asked me another easier question. So I came up with the 4 questions, and then instead of giving a copy to each of the judges, because we didn't have a photocopier then, I told them, see, just tell them to ask you for 1 number and then ask them the question on the number that they requested. So that was it. And then Miss Jessica's point where she's arguing about that her answer or her score is the same as Edna's one. You need to understand this. Edna could have frozen up 3 times, but she answered her question at the end. And then Miss Jessica didn't answer her question. She was asked what she would propose to beautify Benke as a whole, not ladies, And even if she was asked about ladies, running around town with her doesn't beautify a lady. It's not necessary to do that. So I believe that the judges see that under their information content. That's why you have two judges that are based on information content that can be able to analyze what the candidates answer. And it doesn't matter if it's in English or Spanish, because we try to find the information content judges from Belize and that are bilingual on a whole.
The aggrieved contestants have taken to social media to voice their opinions on the issues they have raised with the pageant. Not all of the comments have been flattering of the coordinator, but today Nabet told the TNC News that he and the committee have been doing all they can to settle the dispute amicably.
Team members are individuals that have their own minds and their own mouths and their own opinions. So if you don't agree to what one says or the other says, it doesn't mean that I am thinking the same thing. And they have all the right to give their opinions. And then that's what I dislike about the situation occurring right now, because if they talk negative about you or they dislike your comments, they go and argue with you about what people are saying about them. Like, I've heard so many things and read so many things on Facebook about me, but I won't go and argue to the persons that they sent. We have a whole lot of chat from Ms. Joanna, who has been complaining to the people who think or comment negative about her behavior, and she's messaging them without even knowing them. She's messaging the judges, and I'm like, that needs to stop. At some point, you might agree or disagree to a position, but you need to let people talk. Just as you talk and give your opinion, I think that the rest of the world can have their opinion as well.
One of the contestants I spoke with at the studios said that personal information about her that she gave to you in confidence is now making it out in a public domain, and she felt very bad about that. What do you have to say about that?
The thing is, and I think that was Jessica, because she's the one who has always expressed many of her emotional feelings within the pageant organization and not only to me. And it's very tricky because a lot of the candidates, and I believe all of them beforehand, have told her certain things that she may dislike, but they at least told her. And then when it comes to her health problems, and that's our position in the pageant committee, because she had confided to us in our retreat in front of all the other candidates and all the committee members that her doctors only gave her so much time of life, and that the pageant was her last will. And then I was like, well, you need to open up with the rest of the candidates because they're all here to support you. And then now making such a huge scandal and fighting over something that has already passed and can't be changed. I'm like, if this was your last will, my darling, you should be making peace with everyone in the world. Because seriously, this is getting out of hand.
It says he is confident that the problems that arose after this year's pageant will be ironed out and everything will be okay for the 2017 edition of the Señorita Flor de la Feria.
It's a situation where we learn from the mistakes that we make. I believe that trying our best to show the scores. The thing is with the judges that sometimes they confirm and in the last minute they don't show up. So one tries to fix the glitches so that their scores don't have less than 70% of what is pertained. So probably next year or future years, whether I'm here or not, the other directors can work out on finalizing the system that whether the judge comes in or not to either add the 10 points or don't add the 10 points. When it comes to planning the final show, you plan something and you really want to achieve it. But then if it's unforeseen, one as a director has to step up and make that decision. And I can't think of one candidate on her sole purposes because I believe that that's the mistake that's happening here, that many of them disagree what the judges' points are, and that's something I can't change. If the judge didn't like your evening gown, if the judge didn't like your modeling, that's not up to me. That's up to the judge, and that's why we find it. Because if they didn't really like what the judge's decision, then I can't put family members and their fans to judge them because automatically that would be cheating the system. So I have to find someone or 10 people that determine to us who is our best candidate and why.
Have you met with the candidates, and will you meet with them to let them air their grievances?
We've received messages. I believe that Ms. Valdez, who was at your newscast last night, messaged me. And then she's like, how can I get my scores? And then I'm like, I'll be at the town hall tomorrow. But they haven't showed up. I have nothing to hide. They can come in. They can come and request copies of the sheets that I have here. I've been giving it to them since Friday morning that they are requesting it. So I don't see why they wouldn't want to come and meet. This is a great experience, and the 7 of them you can review their posts on Facebook, and they can say that it's an experience that will never be forgotten by them. If they're very unsatisfied with the glitch in the system based on the positions, we already apologize. If Joanna wants a personal public apology on TV, I apologize to her all over again, the 3rd time in a row. But you need to stop. You can't fix or make the mistake on the glitch of a 2nd and 3rd place with the whole decision of what the judges have decided. If you didn't win the crown, you didn't win the crown. We gave her a 2nd chance, and now she's like, oh, I will make sure no other girl joins the pageant. If it was such a bad pageant, she wouldn't have joined for the 2nd time in a row.
Nabet has announced that he will take a break from organizing of the Senorita Flor de la Feria. He has been the coordinator for the last 6 years. And while the hope is that the controversy over the conclusion of the Senorita Flor de la Feria this year will soon be put behind them, the organizing committee will no doubt have to deal with some more public backlash in the coming days and even weeks. That is because a decision has been taken to suspend the runners-up due to public statements they have been making on social media and elsewhere. Pageant coordinator Oscar Nabet had the unenviable duty of making the announcement today.
Each candidate signs a contract before entering the pageant, and I've spoken with the mayor, the committee, and the executive board. And then the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd runner-ups usually are the queens for our September celebrations. We believe that the contract has been breached, especially on rule number 7 that states that candidates must affirm that they will be persons of good moral character, be respectful, and will not commit any type of act that will reflect negatively on themselves, candidates, pageant committee members, or town council. The council highly believes that it's been breached, so automatically that the runner-ups or the candidates who are causing or making all of this scenario have been breached from being our September queens.
So who will be the queens for September?
We will have Edna Aguirre, Mission Antonich as Miss Independence, Yvette Contreras for Queen of the Bay, and Amin Elizabeth for Senorita Antorcha.
Have they been informed that they are in breach of the contract and so they have been removed?
No, we decided to wait for the newscast to be able to share the information out there. We will send them an official letter informing them. They can continue making all the scandals and drama if they want, but the decision is final. We need to move on. We are going to move on, and we are going to make our team of beauties for 2016 exclusively work for the benefit of our town and our pageant.
Nabet told TNT News that the prizes and official pictures from the Senorita Flor de la Feria are available for pickup at the Benque Hotel Carmen Town Council. You're watching the 9 o'clock news. We will have more of the day's stories for you right after these messages.
Who said that deals only happen once a year or only on special occasions? Walk into any one of our central TV and internet offices to get free installation, free modems, and free MyTV subscriptions. Visit us whether you're in Belize City, Belmopan, San Ignacio, or Benque, or give us a call toll-free at 0800 Cable TV. Central TV and Internet. Bundle and save.
Bundle and save. Central TV and Internet.
Hi, I'm Chelsea Rain. I'd like to tell you about the biggest thing that hit the local real estate market, the Belize Real Estate Show. Whether you are a real estate agent or property owner looking to rent or sell your property, The Belize Real Estate Show can help. We offer high-quality production with stunning slideshows, voiceovers, cinematic videos, and even an extended walkthrough hosted by yours truly. Call the number on your screen and allow all our viewers to dream of renting or owning your property.
Welcome back to the 9 o'clock news. On Sunday, July 17th, Placentia Police received several reports of outboard engines theft from different areas in the village. Placentia Police quickly launched an investigation and officers were led to the area of Sunset Point, south of Placentia Village. Upon their arrival, police found a blue-in-color Chrysler minivan parked beside the lagoon, and in it they found a man who identified himself as Erwin Frederick Castillo of a Belize City address. A further search of the vehicle resulted in the discovery of 2 outboard engines which police believed to be stolen. A few feet away, around a docked boat, police also saw 2 men who, upon seeing the police, absconded and were quickly apprehended. They were later identified as Ian Francis Haylock Jr. and Charles Elroy Young, also of a Belize City address. All 3 persons were informed of the offenses committed and were taken to the Placentia Police Station along with the van and outboard engines. Police later formally arrested and charged the 33-year-old Erwin Frederick Castillo, 27-year-old Ian Francis Haylock, and 26-year-old Elroy Charles Young jointly for the crimes of theft and handling stolen goods. On Tuesday of this week, all 3 accused were taken before resident magistrate Yolanda de Moya at the Independence Magistrates Court, where they were jointly read the charges of 2 counts of theft, 2 counts of handling stolen goods, and 2 counts of attempted theft. All 3 men pled not guilty, but the prosecution, represented by Inspector Dennis Miles, objected to bail on the grounds that the prosecution has very strong and compelling evidence against the accused, that the crime of engine theft has become a prevalent crime on the peninsula, that there is an ongoing investigation into the theft of 2 other outboard engines, of which all the defendants are suspects, and if released would interfere with the investigation, and that all 3 defendants have had previous charges for capital crimes and other crimes of dishonesty. Magistrate de Moya upheld the prosecution's objections and remanded all 3 defendants to prison until their next court appearance on August 11th. Police in San Ignacio continue to search for a man who fatally stabbed 33-year-old Edilberto Morales on Monday night in the Santiago Juan layout area. Authorities believe that Nuri Polanco is the man who fatally wounded Morales during an altercation over a television set. And while San Ignacio police continue to look for Polanco, they were also looking for an alleged extortionist who targeted a business establishment on the Bully Tree Road. TNC News spoke with the officer commanding San Ignacio Police, Superintendent Richard Rosado.
On Monday, the 18th of July 2016, about 5 p.m., a caller called the police via the 911 and stated that a bomb was placed inside the ABC store. The K9 unit and the BDF expert were subsequently dispatched to clear the building, and during the process, no explosive device was found at the scene. In the normal circumstances, whenever the police receive information of a bomb threat, we would go through our departmental standing operating procedures where people will be evacuated, the bomb expert will be called in to declare the building safe.
And at what time was the building declared safe?
Approximately 8 p.m.
And so it's business as usual now that nothing was found there?
Yes, sir. The bomb expert cleared the building around 8 p.m.
How usual or unusual is it for a call of this magnitude to be made threatening that there's a bomb in an establishment here in this town?
Well, I've been here as the OC of the San Ignacio Police Formation for 6 months, and this is the first one we're receiving.
Is it something that is being dismissed right out of hand?
No, we usually take those incidents seriously. In fact, we are trying to trace the owner of the number that called the 911 hotline.
Earlier this week, police conducted a series of special operations designed to track down the perpetrator of the attempted extortion and to catch the man who stabbed and killed Edilberto Morales. 25-year-old Jose Luis Arzu is spending his first night at the Belize Central Prison after he was convicted for the crime of burglary. Arzu was accused of a burglary that occurred between July 3rd and 4th of 2015, where he was suspected of stealing a flat-screen 32-inch Samsung brand television set valued at $1,400, one white-collar Wii brand Nintendo game with all accessories valued at $1,500, one external hard drive with accessories valued at $1,600, and a $100 cell phone from a home in the airstrip area in Placencia Village. After a successful prosecution by Inspector Dennis Miles, Magistrate De Moya found Arzu guilty of the crime and sentenced him to 7 years in prison. Two men who were busted with a large quantity of marijuana on Tuesday night probably made things worse for themselves when they allegedly tried to bribe police officers to look the other way. A mobile interdiction team was conducting a vehicle checkpoint in Tea Kettle Village around 8:30 on Tuesday night when a van drove up. As an officer approached the driver, 30-year-old Matthew Jason Ruiz, authorities say that the driver told the officer that they can work something out because he had 30 pounds of weed in the back. The officer did not take the offer and issued a caution to Ruiz, then proceeded to order both men out of the van. Nothing incriminating was found when the two men were searched. But when officers searched the van, they found 2 crocus bags in the back seat containing marijuana. Matthew Ruiz and his companion, 27-year-old Juan Belloso Lagos, were taken to the Belmopan police station along with the drugs. They were formally arrested and charged for the offense of drug trafficking. In total, police say they found 55 pounds of marijuana in the van. They have taken samples from the 2 bags to be used as evidence at trial. The government of Belize is a recipient of a grant of $10 million from the Republic of China, Taiwan. Ambassador Benjamin Ho handed over a check for $5 million this morning to Prime Minister Dean Barrow. According to an official release, the check is a grant from the Republic of China, Taiwan to Belize for the year 2016 under the bilateral cooperation program between the two countries. The purpose of the grant is to help the overall development of Belize, particularly in the development of transportation infrastructure. The official release notes that the government of Belize will use the funds to cover a part of the expenditure on key infrastructure projects, including the Belize City Southside Poverty Alleviation Project Phase 2, the extension of the Southern Highway from Golden Stream to Halacte to the Guatemalan border in the Toledo District, and for the Santa Elena San Ignacio Downtown Bypass Road Project. This is the news on TNC 10. Stay tuned for a look at the weather right after these messages.
Wondering what it feels like to be in the clouds? Then let's go on an exciting tour and experience a great new adventure. TNH Tours Belize offers a variety of horseback riding combined with caving, canoeing, and personalized tours. Enjoy pristine jungle canopies, caves, and magnificent views. Tour safely with our licensed tour guides and professional horsemen. for a memorable tour in the heart of Belize's natural heritage, come to TNH Stores. For more information, contact us at tnhstoresbelize.com or call 667-8884 or 600-1293. Thanks for choosing TNH Stores Belize.
Partly cloudy skies and warm temperatures prevailed in some parts of the country today. Here is the forecast for Friday. And that is a look at the weather, with information provided by forecaster Francisca Wellington at the Belize Weather Bureau. To end the news, we take a look at the headlines again. Pageant organizers speak on concerns raised by Senorita Flor de la Feria contestants. Police say alleged drug runners tried to bribe officers. And Taiwan gives $5 million to the government of Belize. With the headlines, we end this edition of the 9 o'clock news. Thank you for joining us. I am Patrick Jones. Have a good evening and a good night.